Thanks for checking us on out, everybody. Tobin here with you. Appreciate you guys finding us. Obviously, a day that Heat Nation is freaking out because Donovan Mitchell is a Cleveland Cavalier. Ugh. Look, at least he's not on the Knicks. I could say that. I don't want anything that brings Knicks fans joy. In fact, my best buddy is a New York Knicks fan, and he was texting me today, and he was texting me, oh, Quigley is texting emojis, a cactus emoji. Do you think it means that he's going to Utah? And like the sore sap that he is, I'm like, when have I ever heard of a cactus in Utah, dude? They're mountains. And that broke his heart. And then to see that news come across that Donovan Mitchell was going to the Cavaliers, it was a team that was kind of on the run. There was some Cavs, Wizards, stuff that was out there, but I think everybody was under the impression it was either going to be Knicks or Miami Heat. But there really was this idea that they did want to get Donovan Mitchell. They were not going to do the situation like Kevin Durant and run this back with awkwardness. They knew that they are in the middle of a rebuild, and they are going to strike while the irons are hot when it comes to Donovan Mitchell. And knowing that the free agency can ramp up a little bit by next year, why don't you? He's kind of the last piece that would get moved out there. And so he does get dealt. He got sent to the Utah Jazz for Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, not going to pronounce that rookie wing that they got, and 3 unprotected first-round picks, and a couple of pick swaps. And Colin Sexton, in the deal, he agreed to a 4-year, $72 million sign-in trade. And so the Miami Heat are officially in run-it-back mode. Although I got to say, once I started seeing the reports, the rumblings, the rumors of like what Danny Ainge was hoping to get in this deal, I really didn't think that this deal was going to go through anymore. I originally had thought when the summer had played out, I thought, no way the Heat are going to run it back. And then all this stuff goes down with the Jazz, Rudy Gobert getting dealt along with Kevin Durant. I had always thought it was going to be Durant was going to end up in Phoenix, and then before the DeAndre Ayton stuff happened, and that the Heat would end up with Spider Mitchell. I just thought it was kind of in the cards. He's out here playing with Bam Adebayo in the pro league, and that they were going to make that move happen. Danny Ainge having the affinity for Tyler Herro that he had in the past, I figured that would be a piece that he would be very, very open to bringing in. Then you're hearing that he wants a gazillion first-round picks because he wants to outdo the Rudy Gobert trade, which I don't even know if you could say that he did. And instead, it appeared very much like it was churning towards, this was obviously going to go towards the New York Knicks because they had a ton of picks to give away. The Miami Heat only had 2 first-round picks under their control that they could move. They'd have to make a deal with Oklahoma City to unlock another pick, and then you're talking that you also have to throw in the compensation on top of that with the players. Also on top of that a guy like Tyler Herro would probably get twice the money that a guy like Colin Sexton was getting. Colin Sexton's going to sign for $72 million. I'd imagine that Tyler Herro's extension is going to be probably double that, if I had to guess, or maybe just less than double that. So that could have been another factor in it as well as far as why they didn't want to go. Another factor it could have been, you look at the first-round picks that the Heat have and where the Heat typically are, and you look at the Cavaliers and where they typically are, and if you want to say who's going to have a fall-off or who has a potential fall-off or what organization do you trust less, if you're Danny Ainge, you're going to bet on the Cavaliers to bleep it up more than you would on the Miami Heat. So whose picks would you really value in that case? And in this case, the Cavaliers, same reason why you would want to play a game with the New York Knicks. They're a clown show, and their first-round picks can blow up in your face. It was why he did it with the Brooklyn Nets years ago, old Danny Ainge. So as far as the Heat fan is concerned, freaking out right now because, Orca phone's broken. So, got to put it away for a while. It appears that there'll be no new orcas coming in and swimming into the pod, and they're going to go in full run-it-back mode. Now, a couple things that as far as the team is concerned itself, directly today as far as reaction is concerned, Bam, who is very close with Donovan Mitchell, he liked a tweet that was essentially a meme that somebody had redone. You know the guy who's over the grill and he goes, "Hey, yo, what the bleep?" And it's his face superimposed on that guy next to Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley. So I don't know if Bam is just looking at that and laughing because it's funny, because it is funny, or if he really was saying to the fact, I really wanted us to kind of get Donovan Mitchell. I really wanted us to be in the spot where we could bring in Spida. I did play with him. I enjoyed playing with him. I practiced with him in Louisville. He's a very close friend of mine. Make of that what, as Mike McDaniel says, write what you will. Interpret that what you will. Is that him saying that he'd prefer having his running mate as Spida as opposed to his KFC Kentucky freaking connection with Tyler Herro? Don't know. Tyler Herro also tweeted out, and Tyler, I believe, is in Europe right now. Looks like he's I think he's in England, because he looks like he's in England. No, he's somewhere in Europe right now, and he's working out hard, and it looks like he is he looks like he has physically really improved his upper body and does look like he's getting a lot stronger. But Tyler Herro did tweet out after all these trades were going down, keep that same energy. So, there's a lot of people who are dogging him right now, a lot of Heat fans who I'm sure are upset with him and upset with the way the playoffs went. And I would say, look, there's nothing wrong with you as a fan base wanting your team to get better or wanting to get a better player. But I don't think that should result in you dogging your own player. Like, Tyler Herro has been a good player for the Miami Heat, and I think that's something that got lost along the way. When you're talking about the likes of going after orcas like Kevin Durant, all right, what are we talking about here? This is one of the best players in the league, one of the best all-time players in the game. But if it doesn't work out to hose down Tyler Herro, it seems wildly stupid. This guy had a really, really good playoffs his rookie year. Everybody stunk his second year, which was basically a back-to-back season. And last year was disappointing, but his regular season was tremendous. He was sixth man of the year, nearly the leading scorer for the team, and he's 22 years old. So I do think that Heat fans do need to keep that in mind in regards to Tyler, that there is still a lot of improvement that can come from this young man as far as basketball is concerned, and that's a very, very young player. And so I think inevitably when the Heat do give him his extension, which he deserves to get, that I hope the reaction for most of Heat fans is positive. That, okay, look, the Orca thing didn't work out. I am guilty as anybody is saying that I thought they were going to do something big, some home run cut. Ever since Jimmy Butler was having dinner with Donovan Mitchell early on in the summer, it seemed like it was destined to happen. The whole D-Wade connection, everything, but it didn't. And it doesn't mean I'm going to go into the season and root for Tyler Herro any less, or root for Tyler Herro to get moved because I don't believe him. I think Tyler Herro is a really talented player. The only reason and the only question that I have with Tyler is these improvements that he's going to make. Is it going to be in the same line as Jimmy Butler needs him? Because I don't know how many more playoffs we have of Jimmy Butler being the best player in the playoffs left. We have seen this now 2 out of the last 3 years, but he plays a very hard physical style. He does work his ass off and looks like he keeps himself in peak physical condition. But, by the time Tyler gets to the next playoffs and he's 23, is that jump going to be big enough? And Bam's, Bam it has to hold some of that too. This is not just a Tyler Herro thing. Bam showed capabilities last year in the postseason, certainly, but they need it more. Especially on those nights where Jimmy was a little bit down. They do need it more, like in Game 3 where he wins in Boston. They need more of that from Bam Adebayo. And I know it's a lot to ask of the guy because, he's usually defending the best player on the team, but they are going to need more from those two guys if they are going to take any kind of improvement. Because, yes, as it is on paper right now, they have done nothing. This East has gotten a lot better. The Nets, they're going to have Kyrie, and will they have Ben Simmons all year? Who knows? But let's just say they'll have Kyrie for all their games. They're going to be improved. Philadelphia, they got PJ Tucker. They're going to be improved. Boston, they made some moves. They're going to be improved. All on paper, by the way. You never know what's going to happen with injuries, all that stuff, and chemistry, blah, blah, blah. But everybody seemingly has done something to make some kind of leap. Atlanta, getting DeJounte Murray. They made a move. And obviously the Cavaliers making a huge one today and getting Donovan Mitchell with Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Man, that's a hell of a core four that they got there for themselves. And, you think about a Bucks team that's, theoretically you'll have Chris Middleton healthy again. Look, this East is going to be dog eat dog. It's going to be full of a lot of challenges for the Miami Heat. And so with all of that being said, you're looking to them and saying, okay, here are the improvements that you're going to need next year. You're going to need Jimmy Butler to be as good as he was, Bam to be a little bit better, Tyler to be able to stay durable, Kyle Lowry to not have 37-year-old hamstrings, and Victor Oladipo to take, to be back a little bit more to who he was years ago. A lot of those things are question marks. They're not unattainable, but they are question marks. And I think that if you look at this Heat team, one of the things that's been surprising about them is they typically will do the unexpected. They will do things that maybe you didn't necessarily see were going to be the case, where, 2 years ago, Bam is as good as he is early on. Tyler's as good as he is early on. Duncan Robinson has the year that he has. Guys come out of nowhere. Gabe Vincent last year, Max Strus last year, Caleb Martin last year. So there always has to be room for Heat fans to realize that they can surprise you with some stuff. But as far as, orcas and whaling and all that type of stuff that I love to death, Riley returns on the ship with an empty boat. And so he needs to look at his crew and hope that they can patch themselves together for the grand voyage ahead. And, whether it's Jimmy with dreads or Tyler with muscles or svelte Kyle Lowry or Bam Adebayo shooting threes or Victor Oladipo who's completely rehabbed himself and is getting himself ready for and doing an actual basketball off season, or Max Strus slimmed up, flying through the air with the greatest of ease. All of that type of stuff considered, as I get yaps from the other side from my little toy dog over here. All that being said, I get the frustration from Heat fans. I don't think it's unwarranted that, you were hoping big things and no big things happen. I think that yelling at your own players on the team that you root for is stupid. And I don't count out that the Heat can still do special things next season. Just doesn't on paper right now. I get why everybody's just like, yeesh. But I do see where the path is too. So it's going to be an interesting season. Listen, training camp is just about a month away, and this puppy's going to get revving and rolling.